Yo, 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 what's the word? What's really good? Talented writers and beautiful human beings over at Puente. I'll be formally introducing myself in just a second, but we at Youth Speaks are just super juiced to invite y'all to this 6-session writing and performance workshop module that we got popping off with you this coming February 23rd through 25th, 2021, and figured that you might appreciate a little bit of a preview of what to expect from that space. So without further ado, here is a pre-recorded 101 level workshop created and facilitated by myself, and I will also be your facilitator for that module. I'm looking oh so very forward to joining y'all in a few weeks, but until then, enjoy this and happy writing. What's good, y'all? Thank you for being here and tuning in from wherever you are tuning in from. Welcome to My Name Is, which is a brief Youth Speaks 101 workshop created and presented by myself. My name is EJ Walls, aka Sing Q, and I am a hip-hop artist and poet mentor with Youth Speaks. So glad to be here in the space with y'all. In today's workshop, we're going to be exploring a little bit about our names, the names that we are given, the names that we choose, the names that the world assigns to us, the names that we accept and embrace, and the names that we reject, any or all of the above. So definitely excited to unpack a little bit of that with y'all, do some exploration of identity and some storytelling. But before we get too deep into the writing, gotta establish our 2 golden rules. Number 1 is there are no wrong answers. It's pretty self-explanatory, right? There's no such thing as a wrong answer in this space, as long as whatever those answers are grounded in truth, respect for yourself and others, love for the human community, then it's good. The second golden rule is that the standard is yourself. You are enough exactly as you come. You, as yourself, are perfectly good enough to be in this space and to do this work and to exercise this craft. So shouts out to you for being here. There are no wrong answers, and the standard is yourself. Let's get started. Our first exercise for this workshop is actually going to be a quick little brainstorm. So whatever writing materials you have in front of you, hopefully pen and paper, if not, you may be typing on a phone. Whatever it is that you're writing with, go ahead and take that out. And you're going to make a list. You're going to brainstorm all, yes, I mean all, make a list of all the different names you have ever been called in your life. That's by friends, family, foes, etc. So you want to think about your, like I said before, your given names, your chosen names, nicknames, usernames, aliases, stage names, mispronunciations of your name, like all of that. We need all of that, and try to come up with as many as you can. All right, hope that felt good. Now what I'm going to ask you to do is to choose one of those names on that list that you feel like is resonating with you the most right now, or feels the most significant or the most urgent that you think that you could write about, and choose it. Awesome. Once you have your name chosen that you're going to write about today, we're going to get started with what we like to call a word palette. And a word palette is essentially a brainstorming tool where we come up with some words and or phrases that we can later use in our free write, and just helps us to generate ideas for what we like to write about. So we're going to make a word palette for this name. It's basically going to be a table that has 3 columns, and it's going to have a header row and then a larger row underneath. So it's going to end up looking like this on your paper. 3 columns, 2 rows. So that top header row in each column is going to have a title word or category. So in the top left corner, you're going to write the word people. See that? People. And right now what we're going to do is brainstorm who are all of the people that come to mind when you think of that name. Who does that name remind you of? Whose memory does that name evoke for you? Who does it make you think about? So you'll see some examples coming up. Feel free to pause on the next frame, give yourself a couple of minutes, and jot down all of the people that this name reminds you of or makes you think about. So as you see here, the name I chose is Earl. It's my first name, my given name. So examples, the people that I think about are my dad, Earl Walls Sr. My 6th grade teacher, Miss Chang. Progress reports came around, she would tell my parents, oh, Earl is very bright, but y'all know Fody Water, E. Fody, Earl Stevens. Those are just examples. If you're struggling, these are kind of the type of specificity you might want to reach for in terms of like who are the people you associate with that name. Okay, now moving on to column 2, the middle column of your word palette. I'm going to ask y'all to think about what are all of the places that you associate with the name you chose? What are the places? So you think about a particular place that you are reminded of when you think of this name. Then try to jot down as many of those as possible. Places you remember being called this name, or places you relate to your name. And I'll be happy to share some of my examples on the other side. All right. So hopefully you were able to come up with a few, or it was helpful to see, some of the examples I came up with. Alta Bates Medical Center, that's where I was born, so that's where my parents gave me my name. Burrell Field in San Leandro Little League. Roosevelt Elementary School and all the middle schools that I went to. Grady, Arkansas, that's where my dad's from, since I get my name from him. Earl kind of reminds me of his roots, or like where he came from. Hopefully you were able to come up with a good deal of places too. Now, last but most certainly not least, in the far right column, the third column of our word palette, I would like you to try to jot down the memories or stories that you associate with this name. What are the stories that you could tell that involve this name? They could be stories from other people, stories from yourself, stories that you don't even believe happened that your family tells. What are the stories? What are the memories that you have about this name being used? First, that you associate with it, what are some memories or some stories? Cool, y'all. So you probably saw on mine, right there, Roosevelt Elementary School, kids was calling me everything that rhymed with Earl. Duke of Earl is like the song. So like when grown folks would meet me, they'd be like, what you know about Duke of Earl? And I'd be like, nothing. I try to research famous people named Earl because I was hella self-conscious about my name. One of the ways of like combating that was trying to find famous people named Earl. Hopefully your memories or stories were better than mine. All right, y'all. Now the moment you've all been waiting for. You are here to write, correct? Yes. So let's get into some writing. Let's do a quick little free write. For those of you who are not familiar with what a free write is, the idea of a free write is just to let your brain and your pen run free, right? It's not to try to sit here and write the most awesome poem, the most polished poem you've ever written. It don't even have to be a poem, right? It's whatever comes to mind. You're not censoring yourself. You're not editing. You're not proofreading. You're just trying to make the pen move for the entire time that you're writing. Let's maybe shoot for 5 minutes or so right now. Feel free to like pause the next frame so that you can see the prompt and the ghost lines. But the writing prompt for your free write, obviously with the name that you chose, I want to know, what is the story behind this name? What does it mean? Where did it come from? Why is it significant, right? Just write the story behind this name. So what I've provided here are some ghost lines that can appear or disappear from your writing however you see fit. So if you want to start a line with one of these, you can. If you want to throw one of these ghost lines in the middle, you can. If you don't want to use any of them, that's perfectly fine. But the ghost lines, we have, my name is blank, and that means, people call me blank, but what they really mean is, when they ask about blank, you should tell them, the life of blank is filled with, the story of blank is a story of. So those are all possible ghost lines you could use at any point in your writing. And then also, if you are really not feeling any of those, try making an acrostic poem where you basically have a line for each letter in your name. So for me, for Earl, it would be E is for, A is for, R is for, and so on. So yep, good luck. Maybe pause this on the prompt. Try and give yourself 5 straight minutes without stopping at all. And we'll come right back to close things out, and I'll peace y'all out for the day. Okay. I see you, poet. I see you, writer. You know what I mean? Look at you. You did that. 5 whole minutes? What? Or not, or longer, or shorter, whatever it was. Look what you did. You should be proud of whatever's on the paper right now or on your screen. Well, I appreciate y'all for coming through and for entertaining my nonsense. Hopefully you were able to explore the story behind one of your names today, find some more significance, find some more meaning behind it, and maybe this is a story that you would like to share with some loved ones or some strangers when you first meet them, right? Make sure they know what your name is, that they say it right, and that they put some respect on it. You did. Yep, this has been a Youth Speaks 101 workshop. My name is EJ Walls. They call me SynQ. You are incredible. Thank you for your time, and I'll write with y'all soon.